Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully everyone's doing well. What's going on, Howard? I see you already in here. How you doing today, bro? Okay. With that being said, I want to shout out to Blank Slate. This is a topic brought to me by Blank Slate. He had a question regarding homeless veterans and how can homeless veterans get help. Now, this is going to be multiple videos on this because there are so many different avenues when it comes to homeless veterans. So I want to start with the basics in this video and talk about one specific one, okay? I don't want to go over every single one in this video because people are going to come back with different questions. So I want to tackle each one individually, okay? Now, primarily in this one, I'm going to go over how to contact, who to contact, and the first one you may want to start with through your state. All right. Let's see who else we got here. Manuel, what's up? Good day. Love and Freedom, what's going on, bro? Happy in Claremont. How you doing today, sir? Yuma built a vet home. Yeah. I don't want to go too much into it, Love and Freedom, because that's another one I want to do in a separate video. But in this one, I want to start with the basics, okay? So here we go. If you are a veteran, first of all, let me just say this as well. You need to be living in the U.S. or U.S. territory. If you are overseas, nothing that I'm talking about right now and moving on with this series applies to you. I want to repeat that. This information is for people in the United States of America or people in U.S. territory. If you are overseas, not in U.S. territory, none of this applies to you. All right. So let's start with the first one. If you are a veteran, you are at risk of becoming homeless or you are homeless. Where should you start? Okay. If you have a phone where you can make phone calls, there's an 800 number I'm going to give you, which is 1-800-877-424-3838. Again, 1-877-424-3838. Now, that number is supposed to be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay. That is the first place you need to start. That's actually a phone number designed specifically for veterans who are either homeless or at risk of being homeless. Okay. Another way is if you have access to a computer, you can go to va.gov, go to the search engine, put in homeless. It will take you to the homeless veterans site. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Okay. There is a chat online that you can have. If you don't want to talk on the phone in person, you can go to the chat, and that chat is also available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, if you're already on the street and somehow you're seeing this video, go to a public library and you could do the same thing. But if you're already on the street and neither one of those options are available to you, then you should go to the VA. Go down to the VA, wherever it is, wherever the hospital is, wherever Cup and Pen is, go to the VA and ask to see a homeless coordinator who is basically your social worker. Okay? They're going to set you up. Now, I don't want to give anybody any false hopes. I don't want a lot of people to tell you, yep, they're going to take you right then and there. No, they're not. Okay? In most cases, it's going to take a while. Every now and again, they may have an open bed, especially if you're someone who's suffering from mental health issues or you have some kind of substance abuse issue. They'll normally try to put you in right away because they know you're at a real high risk. But if you are at risk of becoming homeless, it takes time. This is why I want to get this information out there, right? The first one I want to talk about is HUD VASH. That's HUD, HUD VASH, VASH, which basically stands for Veterans Supportive Housing, HUD VASH. All right. With HUD VASH, this is no different than Section 8. Okay, this is a voucher program set up exact same as Section 8. The only difference is this is set up for veterans. Okay, you get a permanent voucher where you're only paying a third of the rent. All right, that's for those of you who are at risk of becoming homeless or you are homeless. Okay, oh, 1 second. I got to answer the door. Somebody, the guards probably got some mail. 1 second, guys. I'll be right. Okay. Oops, I'm back. I had to get the door. I got a package that I'm going to do an unboxing on. Oops, now my screen's all jacked up. I got a package I'm going to do an unboxing on later today. Okay. Let me recognize everybody in real quick. James, how you doing? Love and freedom. I feel you. Yes, sir. LJ, what's going on, man? Barry, how you doing today? Okay. Howard. Oh, it's all good, bro. It's all good. Okay. So I was on contacting them, going to the hospital, talking to a social worker, talking to the homeless coordinator, who's basically the social worker. But you want to be preemptive. If you just received a eviction notice or a foreclosure notice, don't wait. As soon as you see you got it and you don't have any other alternatives that you can use and you can go to, you need to go straight to the VA. You need to get that process started right away, because again, it's not like they're going to say, okay, sure, we got this house ready for go. Here you go. Here's the voucher. No, there's a process. And the quicker you can get in and get the process going, the quicker you'll be able to do what you need to do to get off the street. Now, someone's going to ask, how long does the voucher last? The voucher is actually permanent. It's a permanent voucher. Okay. Now, a couple things I want to get out of the way that's going to be obvious questions. Number one, how much income do you need to be considered homeless? Like, can you be 100% veteran and be considered homeless? Well, you got to understand something, okay? Because this is kind of a judgment call that the coordinator that you're going to work with is going to make, because you could be a 100% disabled veteran and you have a substance abuse problem. You're not able to pay anything because you're using all your money on drugs and alcohol. Then yes, would be the answer. But that is a determination that is made by the coordinator of the department, all right? Which in a lot of cases is the social worker. How much money do you need to spend every month? Again, that's going to depend on the house that you get, because you're going to pay a third of the rent. So if you find a house for $1,000, you're only looking at $333.33 a month. That's a third of $1,000. Okay. Who else we got in here? Mr. Brown, how you doing today? Okay. Now, does anyone have any questions when it comes to HUD VASH, the 800 number that I gave out earlier, the chat room, and I'll tell you how to get to that from va.gov, or going down to Comp and Pen in order to talk to someone? Because there are a lot of other avenues that I can talk about. Love and Freedom mentioned that they built a home for vets. And that's a separate one I want to get into, because that involves me talking about the whole process from these nonprofit organizations that are building apartments on government land and renting them to veterans. That's a whole different video on that. But in this video, I just want to start from the beginning to let people know how they can contact the Department of Veterans Affairs, the homeless coordinator, if you're interested in getting to HUD VASH, VASH, and the process of doing so. I want to make sure I say this again. Nothing that I'm talking about today applies to anyone living outside the U.S. and U.S. territories. Okay? If you're not in the U.S. or U.S. territories, calling that number, going to the chat room, trying to see a social worker, all that online will do you no good because they cannot help you at all. You are strictly on your own when you leave the U.S. voluntarily and looking for help like this, it is not available. Okay? Now, are there any other questions when it comes to that? Because if it's not, I do want to talk about something Love and Freedom brought to my attention, as well as Big Moose. This is a little off topic, but this does apply to people who are overseas, especially people who have a YouTube channel. Okay. So I talked to Big Moose today, and Love and Freedom hit me up about this yesterday. Okay. If you are a YouTuber and you're living overseas, first thing you got to remember, guys, is you are a target. I don't care about anything else you got going on in your life. As a U.S. citizen in a foreign country, people know what your money's worth. You're always being watched, and you are a target. Now, it was brought to my attention that a YouTuber I never watch and I do nothing with was recently robbed. Okay? And I would venture to say they were robbed because normally people like to show off. They like to talk about things that they probably shouldn't talk about because they're living in a country that's not their own. Now, there's a lot of videos I would like to do on my channel, but because of where I am and what stuff would potentially be worth, I don't even talk about it. Matter of fact, I stopped wearing a backpack. I stopped carrying 2 phones. I stopped carrying a lot of stuff, okay, because of potential of being robbed simply because you're online showing something. People know you have these things because you told them. Now you made yourself a target. So for my fellow veterans out there who are living in another country, you may be online or you may want to share something that you have, keep it to yourself, especially if you're in another country. If you're in the U.S., do what you do. You in the U.S., do whatever you do. It don't matter. But in a foreign country, Colombia, DR, Philippines, Thailand, Costa Rica, Brazil, Jamaica, Bahamas, keep all that to yourself. Nobody needs to know, you walking around with a $10,000 Marc Jacob watch on. That ain't nobody's business. That you walking around with $750 Air Jordans, the latest ones that came out, the Evo. That nobody's business. Okay? As a U.S. citizen, especially right now with the dollar being as strong as it is, keep information to yourself. There's also grant predict. Yeah, Happy and Claremont. Like I said, that's a whole separate video. Okay. Because I want to take people through those steps and I want to talk about how much money that the government actually gives these companies every year just for them to help veterans. Okay. I got you, sir. I know exactly what you're talking about. I would say if you make over $2,000, your portion of the rent will increase because you don't qualify. Correct, Love and Freedom. And that's something I was going to let the coordinator, when they call, explain to them. Like I said, it's up to the coordinator depending on where you live. Now, in certain areas, Love and Freedom, take, for example, San Francisco. That's going to be a different situation than someone who's in Yuma or someone who's in Alabama and you in a state in Alabama versus someone who's in New York or someone's in LA. So the cost of living is going to depend. It's kind of like you guys who were getting the housing allowance, right? The housing allowance was different for everyone depending on the state that you were in. There were some states, it was very high. There were some states, it was much lower. And then you had ones who were in the middle. So a lot of that is going to depend on where you are as well. Is the VA okay with disabled vets going overseas to live, or they prefer you to live in the U.S.? Now, they have nothing to do, honestly, with your personal choice. That is a personal decision, JM. If you want to live overseas, you're more than welcome to go live overseas. That's one of the great freedoms of being an American citizen, is you get to make a decision about where you want to live, where you want to go, how you want to live. But the thing about it is, though, if you're not a responsible person, you don't know how to manage your money, you're going on a very low budget, and you really haven't planned well for emergency situations or whatever the case may be, those are things that I try to talk about, that I try to get people to see before they up and move, without really taking the time to understand what they're really moving from. You see, because the VA hides a lot of deficiencies that people have because they go to get their services. But once you leave the US, you're leaving all that behind. You no longer have that. So that's when you have to be a responsible person, right? And don't try to blame the government, because you left. You voluntarily left and moved to another country. When you voluntarily leave and move to another country, you are responsible for your health care. You are responsible for getting your medications. You are responsible for everything. Unlike in the States, it's kind of like the military at that point. You let them handle it, and you just go pick it up and you go on your way. You know, nobody's paying you over here to go to your appointments. There ain't no buses picking you up to take you to your appointment, right? You get sick, you want somebody to come see you, you got to pay for that. Where in the States, they're going to just send somebody out to check on you, and it's going to cost you nothing. So I'm not trying to discourage people from going overseas. I just want people to understand that a lot of these programs that are designed to help veterans, they're designed to help veterans in the States, not outside. They're designed to help veterans in U.S. territories, not in other countries. Okay. Not saying not to go, bro. You can go do whatever you want to do. Just be responsible when you do it. Mr. Miles, how you doing today? We're talking to Mr. Miles. Yep. Yeah. It's going to depend on where you're living and the cost of living of where you are. It's all good, Love and Freedom. I'm maintaining. Can talk a little about the Fisher House. Again, that's another one, bro. I want to save for a separate video. I'm just trying to establish this first, and then I'll move over to the, I think it's called the end user lease is one. You got Fisher House. You got a bunch of these different vet homes. They have different qualifications for people. Some are looking for more people who are more dependent. There may be some who are just relying for aid and attendance. There's some that they're looking for older vets because they try to put groups together that are similar. There may be like there's one in Chicago that's mainly for people who have been on the streets for a certain amount of time. They try to get those people into housing first. So those are a whole different categories. And like I say, there's many different avenues when it comes to homeless veterans. There's the SVVR, I think it's called, program, which is for homeless veterans and their families. So again, I'm trying to tackle the beginning and then move to these other parts as these videos come out. You're talking Mr. Miles. Let's see. When you talk about the VA pension, I've gotten, I think, 3 different videos already on the VA pension, how to qualify for the pension. I've talked about getting aid and attendance for the pension. All those videos are already out, Mr. James. I mean, I'll answer a question if you have a question about VA pension, you know, because it's basically for low income veterans. Okay. You're a veteran, very little to low income. You were in during the wartime period. You can apply for the VA pension to help you. Let's help those vets get off the streets. Now, if you go to the VA's website, they literally made a promise to get every veteran off the street. But guys, you got to understand something also. Some people don't want to be off the street. Some people, that's where they want to be. Whether we want to understand it or not, that's a fact. There's some people who just want to be left alone. Okay, there's some people who have it in their mind. They're not interested in nothing from the government. They don't want any help at all. They just want to live the way they're living. And hey, they have the freedom to do that. I remember a few times where we used to go out, my cousin and I and some other friends, and we would feed people during the holidays on the street. You would talk to some, find out they're veterans, and then you're like, hey man, you can go do da 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 da. You can go do da 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 da. And they're not interested. They want nothing to do with the government. And usually, I'm gonna be honest, it's usually Vietnam vets. Vietnam vets caught hell for a long time. And a lot of them, they want nothing to do with it. From the way they were treated when they first got back to the way they've been talked to the most of the time that they've been out, because a lot of these benefits, man, is Johnny come lately. For those of you who were in the 90s when I went through, that all this stuff wasn't the way it is now. Okay, people from back there will tell you, no, this is all stuff within the last 20 years or so. Prior to that, no, it was not like it is now. Everybody, oh, thank you for your service. Oh, you get a discount on this and you get a discount. Now, all that was not the way it was. Okay. So, everybody's going through something different, and people see the world different. So there are some people who are on the streets. That's where they want to be. Are guards and reservists authorized for the pension? Yes, they are. They're veterans. They were in during the wartime period. Yes, sir. And you can go to the VA's website and verify that. But yes, National Guard members, Army Reserve members, or whatever reserve, Coast Guard, Navy, whatever. Yes. I know many veterans refusing service because of drug and alcohol screenings and curfews. Yeah, I mean, happened in Claremont, unfortunately, they're adults. And there's nothing you can do when someone who's of sound mind decide, I'm just not going to do it. Unless they go berserk or something like that, where the VA is forced to come in and pick them up. But if they're of sound mind, I mean, you can call the police all day. You can call mental health services all day long. But if they got a sound mind and they know everything that's going on around them, ain't nothing they can do. I remember Nam, I grew up at Fort Benning. Okay. Now, are there any other questions before I end this chat, man? I wanted to get this info out there. I wanted to speak about being a target here in these countries and things that you're showing online or things that you may want to share with people. I have a tech channel, and actually today after this video, I'm going to do an unboxing and show a couple products that I picked up, but I'm not using them. This is like stuff I got it on sale, and I'm just going to give it to somebody. I've stopped carrying 2 phones. I stopped doing a lot of stuff, man, because I realized that here, even though I'm around locals all the time, at any point, man, somebody could have seen one of my videos and go, oh, okay, he got like $10,000 in that backpack. I'm going to take it. That's why I don't carry it anymore. I don't do anything, man, to draw any more attention to myself. I try to keep as low key as possible and just not have a lot on me. Matter of fact, I stopped even carrying cash. Only thing I carry is enough. Like if I get stuck somewhere, I think it's like 25,000 pesos, which is roughly about $5, close to $5, a little more than $5. That's it. You want to take that? Take it. But the rest is cards. So they ain't getting much, because once I get home, I'm counseling everything, and you got gonna get much. So I'm just being honest with you guys. You gotta be careful in these countries. All right. Are there any more questions before I get up out of here? Hey, Markel, when are you resuming roll call? What's today? Friday? You guys want to do it tomorrow? Say around 8 o'clock? Because I have no plans for this weekend, man. I don't think I'm going anywhere this weekend other than going to get my hair cut. And that's about it. So if you guys want to do it Saturday, let me know in the comment section. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know in the comment section. I get enough people that want to do it. At least I say 5 to 10 people that want to do it. Cool. We'll do it tomorrow, 8 p.m. We'll call it Roll Call Saturday. And we'll bring people on and do what we used to do before. We'll try to make it every Saturday. It's just during the week, it's kind of hard because I go on a lot of my trips during the week, but on the weekends, I'm usually free because I don't really do a lot on the weekends. So let's see. We got James. Yes. Mr. Miles. Yes. Love and Freedom. T-Mix. Love and Freedom said he'll be home. So yeah. All right. We'll do it tomorrow. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and Love and Freedom, I think that's 6 for you on AZ time. Is it worth it sometimes to leave the safety of the U.S. country where you can even carry your own stuff without worrying of it getting stolen? Well, yeah, I mean, it's all about your comfort level. To me, it's personally about your comfort level and where you are the most comfortable. Like I've had to make a lot of changes from what I would normally do in the States. I'm be honest with you, I have. There's a lot of things that I would carry and wear and walk around with in the States, and I wouldn't give it a second thought. Where here in Colombia, there's no way. No way. Because you would stand out. You would definitely stand out a lot. And I'm talking about basic things, guys. I mean, I think we sometimes take for granted the amount of things that we're easily accessible in the U.S. with, that in this country, it takes a lot. Just where did we go? We went to, just going to that hotel. Just going to that hotel, man, was like something that they never thought they'd ever do. And for us, coming from the States, it's like an everyday occurrence. Or just going to the city that might be 45 minutes away. For us in the States, I mean, I can guarantee you I've been to every mall in the state of Arizona. Never gave a second thought. Probably most of them in the state of California. But you have people who live in this city who've never been to Santa Fe Mall, who've never been to El Tesoro Mall. Because they figure they don't have the money to go in there, so why would they go in there? There's no reason for them to go. Or when you ask them about a certain city here and you say, hey, have you ever been to such and such? And it might be 30 minutes away. Nope, never been. Only been inside of Medellin and their barrio. That's it. So it's a lot of stuff that we do in the States that we don't give a second thought about. But here is different. It is different. It is just not the same. But to answer your question, man, it is worth it with some caveats, at least for me. There's just certain things that you just want to stay away from that you would do in the States. Perfect example, man, again, in the States, I would carry 2 or 3 cell phones, wouldn't give it a second thought. I would walk around with at least a couple $100 in my pocket at all times, wouldn't give it a second thought. Okay? But here, there's just, no, you're taking too big of a risk. Yes, sir. That's anywhere. No, here's different. It's different. It's different. In the States, I mean, I guess it depends on the neighborhood you're in the States in, but in most places in the States, most not going to just come up to you and rob you of your cell phone. I don't know anybody that's robbing you or pull up on a motorcycle and give me your wallet, give me your phone. Not like here. This is different. You can be robbed. It's hard to not stand out in the DR. Yeah, it is. It really is, bro, because once they hear your accent, I don't care how you dress. And I want to get this out of the way too. People had this thing about, well, I dressed like them and I'll blend in. You ain't blending in. Okay? Trust me. Howard, you've been in the DR enough. I guarantee you can spot Americans. Just turn around. He's from the States. Love and Freedom, same way when you're in Mexico. You just turn. They from the States. And they ain't really doing nothing. But the same way here. We can be driving around. We can be driving around somewhere. And you can just see them. They're from the States. They ain't from here. They're from Europe or somewhere. I don't know where they're from. But they ain't from here. And you can see it. You can tell. Your mannerism gives you away all the time. If you have not been around these people very long, they have certain ways that they do things. They have certain ways that they order things and what they order and what they put together. And if you've never been here, I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you got these soccer jerseys on, you walking around, you went down to whatever area and you bought whatever clothes down there. None of that matters because they know they can pick you out just like I can pick you out. We go to a restaurant and you can order chocolate like in the morning for breakfast. Like they'll have a big cup of chocolate. You know, the first thing they're going to do is take that cheese that comes with that arepa and stick it right in that chocolate. How many of y'all do that? Probably none. But damn near every Colombian you see will do that. Damn near every one of them. I'm telling you all, I don't care what you think you stand out or you gonna blend it. You ain't blending into nothing. Like when you go to pay for something. How many of you all just have cash in your pants, not your wallet, that you just pull out? Most guys from the States got a wallet. They're gonna pull their wallet out. Right? How many of you all have ID on you? Because when they ask you for points, you hand them your ID card. Nobody does that here. They give them the number. They memorize it. They don't take out their ID card because they don't want to lose it. They don't want to have to buy another one. I'm telling you, man, those are just small things that you notice here. There's so many other things from the way they open the door, the way they walk in and who they talk to, especially those of you in the DR. You know a local from an extranjero, from a foreigner. You know how you know? Locals walk in. They don't care who's in line. They gonna walk in and talk to whoever. When have you ever done that in a store? You don't do that. So don't come with the blending in, man. That's a fantasy. That's them in their head thinking they blending in. You ain't blending into nothing. They know you're a foreigner. Love and freedom. Let's see. The States is very violent. It's different kind of violence. Folks are being transparent here now. Crime is up 70% in H-Town. Got to carry your protection now. Bro, trust me, if you could do it here legally, people will be strapped up here all the time. Yeah, it's bad in the States. And I think a lot of times people don't realize how bad it is in these countries, man, because they're not getting the local news in these countries. You guys just get national news when something really bad happens here. But if you think that people here couldn't get, if they could get weapons like they could get in the States, trust and believe, everybody here be strapped. They be all strapped. Trust and believe that. They got laws here, though. Their laws here are much stricter than they are in the States when it comes to weapons. And you can legally get stuff here, they would get them. They would get them. You see the number of robberies that happen here on the daily, murders, war going on between the forest and the police and the military here. Like I said, bro, people know about the States because they're living in the States. But when you live here and you watch the local news and you see all the things that are going on here, it ain't like it's like calm here, like, you go to a certain area, nothing's going to happen, or you just happen to be driving at night, you don't get pulled over, or two motorcycles pull up on both sides and just take everything you got. It happens here as well. Please do not think that that's only in the U.S. No, it is not. I can go in here right now, and I guarantee you I can find at least 10 different stories where somebody's been killed, or somebody's been robbed, or something has happened. Okay, and that's just what's been reported. That ain't everything that happens here. That's nasty. Bro, they do stuff here I've never seen. I've seen them take ice cream, put cheese in ice cream. What was the other thing that they did? God dang it. Because there's so much different stuff that you see, man. It's just different. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's different. And you can tell, Paisas, when they hear and they doing stuff, that's a Paisa. That's a foreigner. That's an American. You just know. I don't carry a wallet in Mexico. No. Let's see. So True can easily spot out Americans or just any non-local. Yep. There's so many ways to chill. just like the facial micro expression, always something. Yeah, dude. You know, they have that they have certain mannerism, dude. Like um oh, I'm trying to remember how it goes. You know, somebody will say something, and instead of pointing or looking, they'll like move their face expression some kind of way, especially in the DR, man. They got different ways that they do things. You know, here they got that when they do that with their finger, everybody does that. They just have different ways that they do it. So, like I said, I don't care what you dress like, even I can spot you out. And I know damn well they can. And especially when it comes to the language, because they got certain ways that they say things that's not textbook in Spanish. So, yeah, no, don't put that in your head that you think you're fooling somebody because you're not. Let's see. I got skipped in the customs and immigration lines in Santiago, DR. When I came, I didn't know, even get angry because I knew if it what they do here in the States, I would have reacted negatively. Yeah, yeah. In foreign countries, bro, you gotta have patience. You gotta have patience because it's not like where you came from. You know, you in line, you might be the next one in line. You see 10 other people go ahead of you. You thinking, damn, what? I've been sitting here waiting on this person. That's just how it is. That's the system that is in. I'm telling y'all, dude, you got to learn some patience. You got to learn to use alternative measures when you're in another country. I have a driver. I see this long ass line. I'm not standing in that line. Hey, Danny, I need you to stand in that line. Let me know when you get up front. I'm going back over here and walk around and do something else. I get a phone call. Yep, you next. I come right back and get in that line. You got to figure out alternative ways when you're here and you're dealing with situations. Okay. I had a guy come to fix the hot water heater because there was a problem. He was supposed to be here 2 days ago. Did I trip? Nope, because I already know how it goes. When she called and said he'll be there this afternoon, he ain't going to be here this afternoon. I'll be lucky if he come tomorrow. But he came when I happened to be here, because if I wasn't here and he came, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I'll be there in a minute. Because I know how it is here. Okay? But if you come and expect in America, you better stay in America. If they tell you between 2 and 4 on the same day, you might as well go ahead and do what you're doing if you're here. Because he ain't coming between 2 and 4. You might see him in a day or 2 days, but he ain't going to be there the same day. I can even just about tell the difference between an American. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Here, the style of clothes that they wear, the shoes that they wear, their haircuts that they have, you can usually tell Europeans from America. Americans have very distinct, very distinct. Do you like those Colombian hot dogs? Hell no. Now, before I get to the rest of it, loaded with eggs and I don't even. Well, it's a You said it right. It's a Colombian hot dog. It's not an American hot dog, man. What is it? Bacon, a bunch of white stuff, and like lettuce with it, and some other. I'm like, no. There's a lot of stuff here, dude. I don't mess with. You ain't lying about the facial response they give you when talk. Yeah, dude. They have a lot of local things that they do that's like very distinctive to you being in that area. And if you don't do that stuff in that area, they know. Like you can be living here and they know you living here, but they have certain mannerisms that you just can't copy that they know how to do. Let's see, you're right, Markel. If you can act civilized and treat people with respect, you ain't got to worry about trying to blend. Exactly. They already know. People know you're a foreigner, bro. They really know. The thing is, be respectful. And what helps, learn your language. If you can communicate with them in their own language, that's like, you know, you hitting a home run. Because most of the time, even when I'm with the girls, right? I'm with my driver, I'm with some girls or whatever, and I'm saying it in Spanish to them, they'll respond, but they're looking at them. I'm sure y'all had the same thing, right? You go to somewhere, love and free. I bet in Mexico is the same way. You go somewhere with your wife, you speaking to them in Spanish. they can clearly understand everything that you're saying, but they're going to turn and talk to your wife. Even though you're the one that need help, they're answering my questions, but they're looking at my driver the whole time. I'm like, okay, well, that's just how they're accustomed to do it, because most people who go in these places that look like, that come from where I come from, they don't know how to speak the language. So they become accustomed to, not in all situations, but in a lot of situations in the stores, they'll look at the Colombian. They won't even look at you. They'll just look the other way. I'm like, damn. It's hilarious, but I've gotten accustomed to it. I don't trip. I don't get upset. I'm like, hey, I'm talking to you. No, hey, let them do what they do. Let me get the service that I want out of it, and I'm up out of there. So as long as I understand what's going on around me, I'm good. I'm good. Oh, and to answer the question from the comment section, someone asked me about the movies in English or Spanish. I thought I answered that in my last live. Might have been on the other channel, but they have English movies. Mainly they're Spanish movies. Mainly the language is in Spanish, but you can, in certain theaters at certain times, watch it in English. Okay. So if you want English actually spoken the way it is played in the US, so like with Thor, I could have watched Thor in English, but you could also watch it in Spanish, and depending on the theater, they may have English subtitles. So, but I try to go in and listen to what they're saying and try to understand it, because sometimes I do get confused with certain words because I'm trying to piece it together. I'm still thinking American. I'm still putting it in reverse. I'm looking at it American way, but it should be the opposite way. So I'm still learning to turn it around, but you can watch it in English or in Spanish, and English or Spanish with English subtitles. So, but there's different time slots for each one. And when you come here looking for a movie, you got to look for the ones that says English. It'll say it on there, English. What's up, Mr. B? How you doing? Them subtitles isn't correct. Probably not. I've never gone to one with the subtitles. Mainly the ones I go to are the Spanish ones. And then like when The Matrix was here, the first 2 or 3 weeks, I think it was only in English. So, and they had Spanish subtitles on that one. And they kept asking me like, is this right? How do you say this? And how do you say that? So yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the subtitles because it was in English, but they kept asking me if certain things they were saying in the subtitle were correct. And yeah, I wouldn't solely depend on the subtitles. And it's like that with Google Translator. You guys who are heavily depending on Google Translator, I'm gonna tell y'all like this, man. It's probably right 85, 90% of the time. It's probably right. But I guarantee you probably got upset about something and Google said it completely wrong to you. And it probably was something that wasn't even said wrong or whatever, but Google Translator is not 100% accurate. It's not even 95% accurate. So, I would just say be careful with this, especially if it's saying something negative. Don't count on Google Translator in all situations. Let's see. Always send someone when there's a long line. I can't deal with all those people in small places, bro. Yeah, that's why I don't even attempt to do public transportation. I don't know how y'all do public transportation, bro. I was yesterday, we were out. We saw a bus, and this bus was packed, bro. But when I say packed, I mean literally packed. Every seat, people standing up, people standing on top of people. And I'm going, no. No, bro. And the metros, matter of fact, I'm going to get one of those girls to film. I'm going to get one of my small cameras and let them film actually a day of just taking public transportation. Because there ain't no way. I don't know how y'all do it. I honest to God don't know how y'all do it. With the prices being as cheap as they are, I can't do it. I know I can't do it. Dude, I would rather move back to the States, buy a car, and sit in it by my damn self before I get in public transportation like that. Ain't no way. I don't care nothing about no experience. I don't care about, oh man, you know, they got girls. They got girls out there that's got cars too. So no. Ain't no way, bro. No way. I ain't that cheap to be trying to get on no public bus. I wish I had a photo. I should have took a photo yesterday of what I saw on that bus. And I'm like, they do realize that COVID-19 is still out there, right? Because that was crazy. And I seen that in the DR. I saw them buses in the DR, people hanging out the door, coming from the airport, literally hanging out the door, holding on to the side of those rails. That's how packed that bus was. I was like, ain't no way, bro. No way. Bro, I could never do public transportation either. Now that I think about it, bro, I'm sure some people in here that's been on public transportation in these foreign countries. You literally like this, face to face, literally, and then you got somebody here, you got somebody here. No, that's too much. Omicron virus 0.4.5 is on the rise. I don't doubt it after what I saw yesterday. Those people smashed in there, dude. No, dude. No. It's just no way. I'm looking at that going, no way. Now, those people do it because they don't have a choice. I got a choice. No. If I have to get on public bus, I'm getting on the public bus, taking my ass to the airport, get the hell out of here because I have messed up badly for me to be on public transportation. I have screwed up royally. Ain't no way. No way. All right, guys. That's going to be it, man. Hey, I appreciate everybody watching as always. The next video I come back with, we're going to talk about those vet homes, Fisher housing, how to qualify, how to get into those, as well as some of the other qualifications for homeless veterans as well. And any other questions you guys may have when it comes to that, please leave it in the comment section below. What is this, Howard? Right. One time in Costa Rica, I went to the local bus station and it was packed with locals. Some were standing up, seats packed. Plus they had they had a chicken coop on top of the bus. Holy shit. I'm gonna give y'all a quick story before I go. And I'm sure Big Moose has said this in a live, but Big Moose asked me one time about the bus. And I saw, this is no lie, I saw a lady get on the bus in the DR with a goat. I said, hell to the no. And Big Moose thought I was lying. He's like, man, ain't nobody bringing no animals on that bus. I said, okay, don't be shocked. So Big Moose gets on the bus in Santo Domingo to take it to Boca Chica. I think the second leg, they got to stop somewhere before they get to Boca Chica. Lady gets on with a couple chickens. I wish I still had that video. He takes a video and he sends it to me. And I say, see, dude, I told you they get on the bus with animals. And he didn't want to believe that, dude. But he still takes public transportation. And I cannot do it. Great show. Hey, man, I appreciate it. All right, Howard. I can't make this up. True story, bro. I do not doubt it, Howard. I've seen some stuff here. Good to see y'all. I was almost asleep. All right, guys. So tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central Time, roll call Saturday. All right. I'll see you guys then. Until the next time, guys. I am out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Peace.